Guys, have you forgotten that Chapter 3 existed? Well, Tyre Fries tweeted out this, and it's got me thinking about a few things. Of course, guys, this is just a chill discussion about this Twitter post. Don't go and grieve the creator for their own opinions. They literally state in their own tweet that it's their own opinions. So let's see what he had to say. Sometimes I forget Chapter 3 even existed. Like, sometimes I watch gameplay from Chapter 3 and I see certain weapons, items, and I'm just like, wow, when did this even happen? It's the most forgettable chapter by a landslide, in my opinion. So, obviously, let's understand this is just his opinion, but it has got me thinking. I mean, you know where I stand on this chat. Only a few days ago, seemed like probably last week, that I released a video literally glazing Chapter 3, saying I think we need to revisit it. And then someone dares undermine my authority. I'm joking. Here we go. Why Chapter 3 deserves an OG season. And there's me literally like loving it up. But honestly, for me, the storyline for Chapter 3 was incredible. As a storyline creator, obviously I'm going to have a bit of bias. Season 2, Resistance season. The war between the Imagined Order and the Seven. It was incredible. Honestly, that arc from Season 7, Chapter 2 to Chapter 3, Season 2 was incredible. The Last Reality, the Imagined Order, and that time period in Fortnite, for me, great. You had Paradise with the Chrome mechanic, you had Vibing with the Reality Blooms, and of course you also had Paradise with the Evo Chrome weapons. And that was a really cool mechanic, to be able to deal damage and your guns will increase rarity. There's probably some augment or boon that can do that nowadays, but I would love to see another weapon brought back that can do that. The vaults in that season were kind of cool. The balloons, the Spider-Man mythic, obviously this is a bit unfair, I am looking at this image here. The Spider-Man mythic, oh my god, I feel like playing Chapter 3 during Chapter 3 of course, was, for me, I really enjoyed it. I really loved almost every season. I know some people categorically hate Vibing, and I completely understand that, but I liked Vibing. These are just opinions, of course. I'm of course not rating Vibing as one of my best seasons of all time, but I enjoyed Vibing when it was here. It's very difficult to retrospectively look back on something and put yourself within that moment, but looking back, I'm pretty sure I enjoyed Vibing. I'm not really a competitive guy, but something that sticks in my head from Chapter 3 is the 2022 FNCS Invitational, where there was a battle going down at a random garage on the final game, and it decided everything. And when I saw that, I was like, wow, this is insane. I actually watched it live, I'm pretty sure. I was like, whoa, this is crazy. And I don't know if I've ever been quite sucked in to another competitive moment since then, if I'm being honest. So yeah, I'm not saying hate to Tyler. This is his own opinion. I can't hate someone's own opinion. That would be absolutely stupid. Again, I know I'm looking at it, but can you not remember the freaking Foundation glitch? That was insane. We had the MK, the MK7 Prime shotgun. I feel like I would always go to Sloan's Mythic, but I can't really remember what the weapon was. I do get his point, but that's just memory, bro. I can't. There's 36 seasons of Fortnite. You would do an awesome job to remember every single weapon and every single item from those seasons. But I don't think it's so much about that. It's about remembering gameplay and how you felt at that time, what you experienced. Looking back on it, I really did enjoy Chapter 3 as a chapter. And as a predominant storyline creator, I really enjoyed the build-up to Fracture till it went all wrong. But I enjoyed it. And that's probably why I can't actually forget about Chapter 3. From one of the greatest events in Fortnite history to probably arguably one of the worst. Oh no, I do believe there's some charm to this chapter. I think it deserves a replay. For Reality Tree is a really cool POI in my opinion. Indiana Jones POI collab, that's kind of cool. But if I was to take it from my point of view, and again, this might not be him actually hating on Chapter 3, he's just saying that he doesn't really remember it. But I'm sure, you know, if he remembers certain individual aspects of Chapter 3, I'm sure he likes it. Chapter 3 brought us 0 builds. It also brought us arguably some of the best movements in sliding and some other changes that happened in Chapter 3. In Fortnite Chapter 3, the game and the look of it was completely reworked on the new engine. The Fortnite you see today is mainly because of what happened in Chapter 3. You could argue over the years it also changed slightly from the Chapter 3 look. But definitely the groundwork was done in Chapter 3. Of course, I understand that some people will not see that as a good thing. So as I was saying, Tyler's got me thinking about what I don't remember about this game. You know, it's 36 seasons. It's hard to digest all that information and be able to retrieve it with ease. And the one thing that I struggled to remember recently when someone brought up the Flood season, I was like, oh my god, yeah, I've completely forgotten about the Flood season. Chapter 2, Season 3. And that's not because I hated that season. That was a legitimate good season. We had some really cool mythics that season. Ocean's Chug Chug. The POIs were really interesting. Some of the restaurants being on floating islands. The Authority, Jules' drum gun. So that's why I think that this isn't Tyler saying he hates Chapter 3. He might do. I'm just surmising. But to say you don't remember something, I don't think should correlate to hate. That's just you don't remember it. He is also calling it the most forgettable chapter, which is a negative connotation. I understand that. So he may be saying it. Who knows? And maybe you're kind of saying it's not very memorable, but you probably just forgotten. And forgotten all the things that you actually liked and enjoyed about that season. Am I glazing Chapter 3 a little hard here? Just talking about Chapter 3 here, I've just remembered about the Colombos. And what a big part of that chapter it was, and when they went, and when they left, until they were reintroduced to Lego Odyssey. Honestly, at this point, I think I would struggle to remember OG, the original Chapter 1. And some may argue that Fortnite themselves have forgotten what Chapter 1 actually looked like, but less of that. Tyler's view here is a valid point. This is just how the human brain works. It's completely impossible for the human mind to remember every small detail. So you've got to make room for the important stuff, and maybe Chapter 3, Chapter 4, or Chapter 5 for you is not important. Or maybe the Combine. Now, another season I really like, but I think it will be so far down the list before I actually remembered it, is Chapter 4, Season 4. And it's happened a few days ago as well. I was like, oh yeah, Chapter 4, Season 4. That's such a great season. The Rocket Ram, Kato Thorne's POIs. Some really cool things happened that season, but honestly, it's just so weird how your mind reacts and where your mind goes to. And actually for me, it goes to Chapter 3 a lot. I really enjoyed Chapter 3. Because it can work both ways. If I tell you to think of a season off the top of your head, that might be a season you hate, or it may be a season you like. And vice versa, the last season you come up with might be a season you really like, and not hate. And there's no telling where your mind will go when someone says think of a Fortnite season. Oh yeah, Chapter 3, Season 3, vibing. Awful, for example, and that's a community feeling, of course not mine. Think of a good season. Oh yeah, Chapter 2, Season 7, and then everyone else is going to go, no, that's not right. So guys, let me know in the comments, or indeed in the communities. If you're on mobile, you should be able to see the visit communities on my main YouTube page. What do you think about this conversation? Do you think Chapter 3 is a forgettable chapter, or do you have another one in mind? The last point I want to retouch on is where he says, I see certain weapons or items. He's like, when did this even happen? But I feel like that's probably with any chapter, and there'd be an odd weapon. You're like, what? I don't remember this. Obviously for Tyler, it's more predominant in Chapter 3. But I'm sure you can ask a wide range of people and they will give different answers. And let me know as well in the comments what your answer would be. But guys, I hope you did enjoy this one. If you did, hit the like button and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Until next time, it has been your boy, Mr. JLY. Next time, bye-bye.